for those users who said they faced a challenge in, face challenges in keeping up with security patches and updates, we then asked a follow-up question. Well, what's leading to that patching backlog? So this is just the people who said they faced challenges keeping up with patches and updates. 64% of them said it's just an issue with scheduling downtime. Um, that was the biggest challenge. So nearly two-thirds of these people with patching and updating challenges said, well, I just can't find the time. It's very difficult to find the time. And certainly for large enterprises, and given the value of SAP systems to organizations, it's not really surprising that it's difficult to work with the business to find even scheduled downtime, let alone unscheduled downtime if there's a high priority patch that comes out or something that needs immediate addressing. It's tough to do that. Um, but 57% also sort of reported that they have difficulty validating whether SAP security patches and notes are properly and correctly applied, right? I mean, you apply the patch, are you sure that that worked? Um, and it's sort of a little bit surprising that such a high proportion of respondents said that they had difficulty determining whether the patch was properly applied. Another 43% said they're reluctant to apply SAP security patches or notes that could impact availability. This sort of, goes along with difficulty scheduling downtime because, I mean, if you do manage to schedule downtime and then you apply a patch or note and then it impacts the availability of your system, then, that's a problem. Um, Even if you start off testing it out on dev and then you move it to Q&A, that's not to say that something isn't slightly different in your production system that could have an impact. But I mean, it also could be that there's simply a reluctance to apply those patches. You don't want to, you're nervous about taking that step because you think it might have an impact, even if it doesn't necessarily. Um, Limited resources is also another reason for patching challenges, difficulty understanding which security notes and patches are the highest priority. Um, I mean, SAP, Patch Tuesday, which I think was just a couple of days ago. There's usually a number of different patches released, and it's not always easy to um, gather to determine, well, which of the things are most important to me. I can see that this particular issue, for example, has a higher CVSS. Maybe it's a 9 point something or even a 10 because that has happened from SAP before. Um, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those particular patches apply to you. You may not need to apply those because you're not using those particular features or functionality. So understanding which ones you have to apply and which have the highest priority can be a challenge. I mean, there are organizations out there that do help you do that. Um, Most of the vendors that play in the SAP space, put out some sort of a blog on Patch Tuesday, giving you an idea of, what you might want to address.